is for entertainment purposes only. So, as if it couldn't get any worse, family. Nabi Kaongo has now taken the national seal of the Republic of Kenya from the Attorney General's office, where it is supposed to be, and moved it to the office of the president, to this guy Kosgei or whatever, chief of staff, whatever, whoever that guy is. So when guys say all kinds of deals are being signed, and that even the Adani deal and stuff, those things were signed, sealed, and already being delivered, guys are taking it as a joke. And these guys are doing this now in 2025. They think it's the 90s and they can sell Kenya how they want and they can make all the deals. And then they're going to come and continue living here. Ama, they don't plan on leaving presidency. Choices are going to have consequences. Like, you can't do this. Come on.
Where is the government seal right now?
When you look at the law is very clear. The seal is under the head of public service. That is the law. It was passed recently. Because of the executioning, the role of the head of public service is to execute the orders of the president. That is why even my office is under the executive office of the president, chief of staff and the head of public service. Next question.
So, Dr. that is to say the AG doesn't hold the government seal
The
anymore.
new law is that the head of public service is the one who has the public seal.
But was it communicated to Kenyans? Are the citizens aware that the government seal left the AG's office to head of public service?
Ronnie Reagan, that is a process that went through Parliament. The law was passed. There was public participation.
When was that?
Sometimes last year. So let us maintain that way. You can confirm with the Hansard. You can confirm with the proceedings. There was public participation. And there's nothing wrong with that, for your information.
So what happens to AG?
So therefore, the AG remains with his powers as the principal legal advisor of the president. But the seal of the president, of the government, is within the executive office of the president.
Lakini you know it's either two things here. Kuna mtu kwa gava anaisabotage, and kudos to that person. Ama eneo ukichukua power, akili yako inakutoka tu unakuwa tu mjinga. Why would you go for George Natembea, the leader of the Tawe movement in Western? Usually.
As a lawyer, but also on behalf of the People's Liberation Party and on behalf of Martha Karua. Mine is just a simple message. This government is busy looking for things to do, yet kazi imewashinda. We have young people who died. I wish you use the same machinery to bring to book the people who killed our Kenyans, our young Kenyans. That is agenda number one. The same energy you have, can you put it in the education sector? You cannot tell us you have no money for candidates to sit exams. You cannot tell us there is no SHA. Hiyo nguvu mko nayo, tafadhali boss, package it, serve Kenyans. As for the courts, we respect the courts. As officers of the court, we will follow the law. But we tell the government to shape up. It is time you bring the real people who killed our children to book before you start now picking people. You can pick one person, tomorrow another, but you can't pick the whole country. Time is up. Do the right thing and serve Kenyans.
Sifuna is not spitting any vitriol, my brother. Sifuna is telling you what you don't want to listen to. He's telling you that out here, the cost of living is high. Out here, corruption has gone beyond any limits. Look at the Kenya human rights record. Look at the way we've been behaving. Look at the way National Assembly MPs are behaving. I can tell you today, go to the National Assembly and see how many people are attending committee meetings and how many are attending the National Assembly. Everybody's traveled out of the country. Billions of shillings. People are just traveling. It's a fact.
And the offices are locked up.
It's a fact. We are not able to pay rent. We can't pay Kenya Power electricity. We have a regime. In fact, many of our embassies, I can tell you today, guys are writing information telling us, you know what, yeah, we don't know what to do. We are taking our kids to go and work in Qatar and Saudi Arabia. What is happening? If you see what we are receiving, these kids are going there, the agreements which are signed, there were no bilaterals, they are being put in the aeroplanes. When you get to those countries, what happens? The food they are eating is pathetic. The housing that they are getting. In other words, we are failing to understand that the purpose of any management of state resources is to make sure that we serve our public.
Hello. Hi. Welcome to Uasin Gishu County. My name is Mr. Kiprotich, and this is my colleague, Mr. Chumba. Oh. We are going to be interviewing you. You have a very impressive CV, young man. What is your name? Start by telling us what about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Jackson Otieno.
Jackson Otieno?
Yes.
Otieno? Okay. Okay, Jackson Otieno, I see you have a very impressive CV, but you are not qualified properly.
Yeah, I don't think you have the skills that we're looking for. Ama, what do you think?
Gary? In fact, usifanye hata kazi kubwa. Wewe kuja tu Monday, leta tu photocopy. Usileta hata original. Wewe na nyumbani. Ni mtu ya karibu sana.
Hello, wewe. Watch and learn. One time. Sikiza nini? Crowd. Sikiza nini? Tuongea kesho. Hivi venye nanawa hivi. Ndio nanawa Ruto. Nimenawa Ruto kabisa. Nimenawa Ruto. Ruto Kasongo nimekunawa.
Kasongo one time.
Watu ya Malava constituency. Watu ya Malava. Naomba tu munisikize. By election inakuja hapo Malava. Na nimeona maaspirant ni wengi sana. Nataka niwatahadhari mapema. Nimeona kijana anajiita Ryan Jendi. Mtoto yule MP mwenye alikuwa hapo na akakufa. Na mimi Ryan sina shida na yeye. Kwanza namuonanga anakaa kuwa mtu roho safi sana. Lakini uongozi si kitu ya familia. Hiyo tabia ilikuwa ni ya kitambo. Ati MP akikufa tunachukua kijana yake tunapea. Hiyo ilikuwa ni vitu za zamani. Sasa hii tumeingia ni mwamko mpya. Kwani watu wa Malava hawana kijana mwingine anaweza ongoza isipokuwa kwa agent? Hakuna mahali pengine mtu anaweza ongoza isipokuwa hapo kwa agent. Kwani wamama wa Malava hawajazaa mtoto ambaye amesoma isipokuwa hapo kwa agent? Sasa ingine lazima tujiulize maswali. Watu wa Malava amkeni. Hii mambo ya kurudisha uongozi kwa familia moja ndio hatutaki. Wao wale waliongoza, babake aliongoza, waachi wengine.
Wengine ni mang'ombe tu, ona sasa ng'ombe kama hii. Ni ng'ombe tu ikitumwa mahali inaenda tu mbio. Haijui kenye inafanya. Niko naongea na simu. Ni itusi. Unajua mimi naweza mtusi na nitoka. Umbwa wewe. Okay mbio.
DCI, mnatuonanga sisi ni kama matanyi zenu. That's a question. And here comes the main question. When will you arrest Fala Mali? You didn't hear that. Let me repeat that again. When, and exactly when, will you arrest Fala Mali? It's 10 months now. And he's just walking freely. Yet Gachagua just cautioned the electoral body. And now he's the most targeted and wanted criminal in this country. Does this mean that kuna wale wa Kenya, their rights are so high? Na kuna sasa sisi yetu yenye ni kadogo hivi kama tone ya mkojo ya inzi. Is that it? Please give us an answer. Thank you.
The moment they moved the PS who messed up payment services system of the country to the education ministry is when I knew they were going to mess up our education sector. This is the same guy that centralized all government payments through one portal of the e-citizen. There was a time even parents were being told to pay school fees through the same system, but they moved into court. Please remember, there was a time where tourism was almost crumbling down because tourists would come and they would panga very long lines because the system imehang. This guy is now in charge of our education sector, and the first thing he has done is try to tell us why they need to change the name from NEMIS to CHEMIS. Changing an N to a K is going to cost billions because we know how this government works. This is the same guy that in the 2025-2026 financial year, they have cut the budget of the education sector. Ametoa 12.5 billion from the budget ya examinations za students wetu. No wonder hata sasa hatujui kama wanafanya exam ama wafanye exam. Capitation fund pia imekatwa na pesa ya feeding programs za shule pia gone just like that.
Ruto, serikali neboin gomi chepchemo. You're creating unrest in a country you swore to keep calm. So is your Minister for Interior. Chumba. Nini mbaya? Nini? Okay. Trans Nzoia had riots today because they felt that arrest that the EACC was trying to carry out was not legal. Kibera sai naona kuna iva. I don't know if it was yesterday or the other day. Sugarcane farmers were rioting because of rye. So, nini ingine imebaki? Si ni finance bill tu, tutoke kama wenda wazi. Hai. Aluta. Continue making citizens uneasy. Na unakasirisha watu wako na njaa na hawana pesa. Do you know how bad that is? Wacha ni usiku. Wacha nikule pesa rock alafu nilale.
Na tukiendelea kukua distracted huku nje, tukumbushane kuna discussion ya extension ya term limits from the initial 5 to 7 years. Something that has never been done, something that has never even been had before, but it's there, it's in discussion. Tusisahau. Alafu nyenye local channels, instead of wasting our mornings kutuletea watu kama kina Nelson Koech, sijui kina nani, speaking about nonsense, kazi tu ni Gachagua, Ruto, opposition, sijui nani yako government. Instead of kutuwestianga asubuhi zetu, why don't you just take your time, bring onto the shows people that can educate the masses. Mnatuletea lawyers, watu wamesoma constitution, watu wamesoma finance bill, wakuje wafanye public awareness. They come and educate us on the finance bill, the implication, the taxations, everything. Vitu zinatusaidia, si vitu za ujinga tu. Yani, you people waste our mornings with these people day in day out, and it's the same monkeys day in day out. Akunanga change, same people, same topics, same people, same topics. Kwani hata nyinyi mchokangi kuhosa watu?
Angalia nchi bila naumia. Tembea mkuu. Wacha kukaa kwa state house bila kuona wananchi wanaumia. We are suffering. Kenyans, we are suffering. Mimi nalia kama mama. Mama, kipi tumepata sana mpaka tunasikia uchungu. Why we are electing the leaders ile hawezi kutusaidia. We need leaders ile wanajali wananchi ya chini. Unataka leaders ile wanajali wa Kenya ile maskini. Hatutaki ile wanajali matajiri peke yake. We need leaders who can lead this country, who can help the poor Kenyans. Mimi naitwa Neli.
Wanauda ni wajinga na werevu hawana. Wanauda ni wajinga na werevu hawana. Ukiona wakilewa usidhani ni tajiri. Hiyo ni mali ya umma wameiba toka kwetu jamaa. Wape ya pombe yao. Wakilewa wakitapika ni shauri.
Hey, Rigiji.
Sema one time.
One term. Nani huyu ataenda one term?
William Ruto.
Oh, William Ruto yani Kasongo.
Usitutishe ati rais a one term president.
William Ruto is a one term president.
Na kama ataenda one term, meaning ni term yake ya ngapi?
Ini ya mwisho.
Ati ni term yake ya ngapi Okonkwo?
Ini ya mwisho.
Kama hii ni term yake ya mwisho, basi niambieni characteristics of Kasongo. Number 1 characteristic.
Jamani mwizi.
Hujui eti Kasongo ni nani?
Jamani mwizi.
Means akiona pesa za affordable housing
Anachukua, anaweka.
Na akiona pesa za SHA
Anachukua, anaweka.
Correct. Characteristics number 2.
Anapenda mukuchu, sema cash.
Mukuchu ni do ama?
Anapenda stories za do, kianza stories za love tambo.
Na niwaulize, Kasongo akiona do nini namfanya?
Akiona mukuchu, ana blush.
Kasongo, we wacha kucheka hapa. Next characteristics of Kasongo.
William Ruto is a one term president.
Rigiji, kwani one term pia siku hizi ni characteristic? Can you explain into details?
Ataenda one term. Sema one term. Wewe William Ruto. Wewe Kasongo.
Ndio.
This grammar na wao. Wewe muuaji. Wewe mwizi. Wewe Kasongo.
Oh, okay.
Chai.
Ese yumoyo